Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a fairly recent performance from BBC Radio 2. It's going to be 10cc with I'm Not in Love. And, I mean, this is the kind of video that I do enjoy making because there are great performances out there, and this is one of those. And I do want to point out a few things. As always, there's a link in the description below to the original performance video if you want to watch it without me interrupting it and jumping into the isolated vocal, which we will do, but let's have a listen.
I'm not in love, so don't forget it. It's just a silly phase I'm going through.
So, as you've probably noticed, we've got the BBC Concert Orchestra here. And, I mean, this is such a great arrangement, but obviously we're in a different key to the original, and we've got Kevin Godley here on lead vocal. And I love seeing this kind of thing, especially considering this was, 4 months ago that this was uploaded to the BBC Music official YouTube channel. I love seeing genuinely live performances that haven't been post-edited. And that's something that happens actually on, we've looked at BBC Radio 1. There are other channels and radio stations that have bands and artists performing, and when it's then released, it's pitch corrected and it's not what the performance was, whereas this is absolutely what the performance was. I mean, you could make the argument that when did this song come out? 1975, that you've got to be at a certain kind of level in order to do an authentic version of a song. 50 years later. But with Kevin's vocal, I mean, it sits really nicely in this place where we've transposed keys, obviously, but his voice does suit this song. And when I say that, it's because for the commercial mainstream release, it wasn't Kevin who was supplying the vocal. But it is great to see that BBC Radio 2, which is a very popular radio station here in the UK, and loads of people listen to it, that they've taken the decision to just leave this as it is. And I think that's very much the approach with the concert orchestra there as well, to just put together something that's just musically credible and just so enjoyable musically as well. But let's just listen. So you can see how with the vocal we've got that vibrato in there. You can see it on screen, and Kevin is actually really accurate pitch wise, but with that vibrato as well covering a lot of pitch, it means that there's a little bit more leeway. But this is just the way that Kevin sings.
Just because.
And this is also a great indication of vocal accuracy here. So accurate on the D4, and coming down here to the wider vibrato.
Just because.
So that cause the vibrato here, like I said, covering more pitch, but we get this contrast of holding notes and being really accurate, and then the wider vibrato.
Call you up, and just absolutely nailing. I mean, I know we can say, oh, it's slightly flat in the D4, but this is an actual vocal, live vocal, unedited. So this is as accurate as you'll ever need to be. Don't get me wrong, don't think you got it made. I'm not in love, no, no. It's because I'd like to see you.
I mean, there are so many parts of this where, looking at these lines, I'm thinking that would have been edited, that would have been edited, that would have been edited. Because there's so much freedom in this vocal and so much expression that you don't really hear this nowadays, especially on a performance that's released nationally and on official YouTube channels of particular radio and TV shows. Now, isolated vocal.
But then again,
nah. Listen to those intervals. Just so accurate.
It doesn't mean you mean that much to me. So if I call you, don't make a fuss. Don't tell your friends about the two of us. I'm not in love, no, no. It's because.
And totally live backing vocals as well. They sound great, but there's something about just having a genuinely live performance just gives it its own personality. And obviously it's just a moment in time that you can appreciate that hasn't been edited, and it's just what the musicians were doing at that time. It's what the singer was producing at that time with his or her vocal cords, and all of the emotions that she or he were feeling at that point come across through the vocal. And that absolutely does here. But I mean, unfortunately, I think if we have the backing in there too much, I know that BBC tend to block videos. I hope that this doesn't get blocked. So go and check out the performance in the description below. I'll leave a link to it to appreciate this in its entirety, but I'll try and kind of jump in as much as I can.
I keep your picture upon the wall. It hides a nasty stain that's lying there.
And just another quick point on where this is placed, the fact that we have transposed it, and it is going to be lower than the original release, like 50 years ago. Was it? I'm going to have to look that up, whether it was actually 50 years ago. But I think most people have the same view as me when it comes to transposing keys, that they don't really care. And I don't think anybody would notice this. Like, if I hadn't have told you watching this video, this performance, that it has been transposed and it's lower, would you have known that as soon as you start listening to it? I think only maybe musicians or hardcore fans would notice that, oh, something slightly different. But for me, I think transposing keys so that it suits the singer's voice more is only ever going to be a good thing, because an audience will enjoy the performance more when the singer is singing comfortably as to when they are straining to hit notes and not hitting them, and it's not in their range, and all of these awkward things that come out of that. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is great, and it sets it apart from the original as well, being a live performance, and yeah, obviously being Kevin performing it and not Eric, but it's just its own animal, and it's great to have that, to have different versions of classics that just stand alone on their own, and this absolutely does that.
So don't you ask me to give it back. I know you know it doesn't mean that much to me. I'm not in love, no, no. It's because, ooh, you wait a long time for me. Ooh, you wait a long time.
And yeah, that's what I call harmony vocals. They're just totally live, but just exactly in the place they need to be.
Ooh, you wait a long time for me.
Ooh, you wait a long time for me. Just so light in the background and so spot on.
Ooh, you wait a I'm not in love.
But yeah, I mean, this is great because it's all about just singing how you sing. Obviously, having the ability to hit pitch accurately is really important. So when working through these phrases, there might be times when you do have a voice that tends to lean towards a wider vibrato. You can have all that, but you still need pitch accuracy. You know, if you're going to pull this kind of thing off live without relying on technology, you've got to be able to hit notes like this accurately, because then when you start applying vibrato, it's just something that's going to embellish your sound and put your personality on your sound. Obviously your tone's going to be doing that as well, your natural singing tone, but yeah, you've got to be able to hit pitches to do this kind of thing.
So don't forget it. It's just a silly phase I'm going through. And just because I call you up.
It's that kind of thing. Call you up. You know, the interval is absolutely spot on. D4. And coming back. Again, slightly sharper the D4 here. And we started slightly sharp. So this is the kind of thing. Again, when you're looking at this, that would have been corrected. No doubt. But we'll listen on.
Don't get me wrong. Don't think you've got it made. I'm not in love. I'm not in love.
Yeah, and I'm just in danger of just listening to this. Even though I've seen this performance multiple times, it's just, yeah, appreciating a genuinely live performance. And I just want to finish really by saying that the BBC Radio 2 show, this arrangement is great, and just praising BBC Radio 2 for not editing this, because there also seems to be a tendency, especially for artists and bands who are further along in their careers, and they might be playing a song that's, you know, 30, 40, 50 years old. There's this tendency to correct it all, because I don't know what the view is, that, oh, they've got to be seen as being really accurate this many years later. Even if they weren't, we've got to now try and, you know, pretend that they are really, you know, on these lines all the time, which they never were in the first place. But it's great to just get great musicians with the orchestra, but also playing 10cc, and great vocals, harmony vocals, and just let it be, and just let them do a performance. And then guess what? The performance you see is what was actually produced at the time, and you can't beat that, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you guys for requesting this particular video for tonight. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!